Hello and welcome to the Home Care Millionaire Podcast, the show where compassion meets prosperity. I'm Paul Tembande, alongside my beautiful wife Joan here. We're honored to be your host today. Together we built our own home care agency from a little over $12,000 credit card loan. Some folks call it a gamble, really, to be honest with you. I mean, when we started, they thought it was a gamble, So a little over $12,000 credit card loan to an eight-figure home care agency today, serving thousands of clients over the years, and also employing thousands of folks over the years. We've done that. And now we're here to share some lessons we learned, strategies, mindset shifts that helped us get there, so that you can also, our viewer, can also be able to learn, and also improve your situation or your business operations based on that.
Absolutely. We launched this podcast because the home care industry is often misunderstood. Too many people don't see the struggles, the sacrifices that owners and their employees, their caregivers make every single day, or the powerful impact these agencies have on seniors and their communities as a whole. And truthfully, we looked around and realized there were not many podcasts out there shining the light on what these agency owners and their team do to the community, due to the senior population that is forever increasing, right? Especially in the United States. So that is why we felt called to create the Home Care Millionaire Podcast.
This podcast is designed for the purpose-driven provider. For those of you who feel called to care, but also want to build a thriving, sustainable business out of this. Each week, we're going to share with you real stories, proven strategies, and powerful mindset shifts that will help you move from just surviving to truly thriving.
I like that. Actually, our tagline says it best. Compassion is your calling, wealth is your reward.
Yes.
And here on the Home Care Millionaire Podcast, we're going to show you how to embrace both.
So get ready for inspiration, practical insights, and encouragement you need to build wealth, impact lives, and create a legacy through your agency. So hit subscribe. Join us on this journey to transform your business, your mindset, and your future. Welcome, folks, to the Home Care Millionaire Podcast. John and I are honored today to welcome a good friend, known for several years, a fellow home care agency owner. She does a heck of a job, I'll tell you, serving the seniors in her community. She's excited, excitable, a great person, knowledgeable person, someone that cares for what she does. She's not, I gotta get paid some kind of way, but this lady puts her heart into what she does, I think. Don't you think, John?
Absolutely. And having worked with Nicole over the years, we know she has great heart, compassion. She has a passion for what she does, caring for seniors, making a difference in the lives of her employees, her caregivers, in her community. So, but before we get to hear about her passion and her heart, Nicole, share with our audience today how you got into this industry, how you got to becoming a home care owner.
Wow. We only have a half hour, but I'm going to, as you were talking, and thank you so much for inviting me on. I'm super excited about sharing my story and, just joining in on the Home Care Millionaire Podcast. I'm so proud of you two for doing this because it's needed. My story, where you talked about, you started with $12,000, on a credit card. I started, my journey started working for a CPA, 15 years, and let me tell you too, I didn't want to know anything about accounting. That was not what I went there for. He hired me as an admin, but he had other plans for me. And if I can say so to God. God has a plan.
Amen.
And so it was just us two. I worked with him side by side with him for 15 years. And during that 15 years, he taught me everything about the business, about bookkeeping, personal taxes, business taxes, payroll taxes. I was the front person for all of the clients. And during that journey, I fell in love with the clients. It wasn't about the work. It was about the clients. And as moving on over years, I began to gravitate towards our senior clients. They would come in, and as everybody knows, tax season is from January to April. And I'm excited during that time because that's when I get to see all the clients again once a year. Okay. And then, it became year after year, our senior clients, they weren't coming back. And I'm like, well, where is Miss So-and-so? Miss So-and-so had passed, or Mr. So-and-so could no longer drive and had to move out of the state with family. Okay. And so during the year after tax season, I had really built relationships, not just business, but personal relationships with these individuals. And so what I started doing after tax season, I started calling them during the summertime. How are you doing? Is there anything I can do for you? And that turned into, well, I know it's Miss Johnson's birthday. Let me send her a birthday card. Wow. And that ended me going out to lunch with clients. I would take them out. I would buy them groceries. And I knew that whatever my purpose was, it had to be with seniors. And at that time, I knew nothing about visiting angels.
Okay.
And so one day I had an old email account that I just so happened to tap into. It was like, I probably should close this account. And I had literally hundreds of emails from visiting angels. And I'm like, what is a visiting angel? So I opened it and it was, and it was advertisements from them. I have no idea how I started getting these emails. Well, I know now, but I opened one up and I just started reading it, and it said, come to Pennsylvania to an open house. I took off work. Okay. I drove up there, and the rest is history. When I left that open house, it was like a God aha moment. I'm like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And from the time I saw that email, 6 months later, I purchased,
There you go. All right. Wow. All right.
And that's yes. And that's how I knew, because every door was open. There were no obstacles. Every door. And this was, definitely a leap of faith for me. And you all said you used a credit card. I used my son's college money.
There you go. Well, hey, there you go. There you go.
Thank goodness he didn't go to college. I think I still owe him.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow, so that was my beginning. Wow. It was, I knew.
What a story.
Yeah.
What a story, Nicole. Thank you so much for sharing. Wow. You see, you were already being prepared. From your job, at the CPA office. You're already being prepared. Except that responsibility, that role, that calling, in fact, was a calling. Now you got started, right? All excited, you're ready to go. You have a great heart. But as we know, yes, you had God's blessing, if I may say, but there are also challenges that came, in this journey. If you could share with us some of the challenges that you've encountered, and then also how you navigated or what you did to help you go through, manage those challenges.
That's a very, very good question, because as you mentioned, it was a total leap of faith for me. I knew what I was supposed to do and I did it. But once I got into it, yes, there were a lot of questions and a lot of challenges. And, I had to feel my way through that, through those challenges. And I think one of the big challenges, and I think sometimes all agencies face this, it's the staffing. That is a challenge. You're working with a vulnerable community who are trusting you to provide, top tier care. And you want to make sure the staff that you are bringing into individuals' homes and personal space are a good fit, a good match. And there is a shortage. What I have learned is that, I could hire a staff here, but that staff also has been hired by 2 other agencies, and they're biding their time.
At least.
Yes. So they may be with you 2 days and they're somewhere else 3 days, and on the weekend somewhere else. So just making, keeping that constant flow of quality staff, not just staff, but quality staff. That has been a challenge. Also, not just caregivers, but the internal staff. those staff that are working
Yeah.
closely with you. You all know, having those individuals that are, really dedicated to assisting with getting those caregivers out into the homes. That was a challenge as well for me. Yeah.
Mhm. I was going to add this, Nicole,
Mhm.
and this was not part of what but I think it's an important part. What does faith? Because I know you're a person of faith. I mean, from
Yes.
what we
Yes.
know about you,
Mhm.
what does faith, played in this whole role for you? Because like you started to say, you got into this, God kind of,
Mhm.
God is who we all believe in, right? I mean,
Mhm.
led you to the CPA office, not knowing anything, in accounting, right? And you took on
Yes.
the role. You were there for so long, and you learned the
Mhm.
ropes. And by God's grace, you had somebody who showed you the ropes too. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'm saying, and then you got into visiting angels, you got into home care, and you're doing so well. I mean, what has faith?
Wow.
What is your faith really? How has that helped you in this journey
Ooh,
as you go
that
through?
has been foundational for me. For me to leave the comfort of a secure job, um, it was a leap of faith, and I relied on my faith and my relationship with God to take me these steps. And I'll say this, um, as I was going through that process, because again, 15 years, and as Joan said, um, the business aspect, as I started on this journey, God began to reveal things to me, you
Really?
know,
Well,
and, he told me, I had you here for 15 years because you
mm,
had to know how to run a business. You
mm,
had to know how to do payroll. You
there you
had
go.
to know how, if you had someone who were doing your books, you needed to know to be able to check behind them. And
Yes.
and I complained to the Lord. I'm like, Lord, I don't know why you have me
Why?
here
Why you
doing
right?
yeah, I don't like them, and I know now, all of these things were
Yes.
revealed.
Yes.
So faith was huge. And I knew, I'm like, you put me out here.
Yes.
So I know you're going to cover me
Yes.
from beginning to end.
Yes.
And as and I know you all are fire for the Lord as well.
Amen.
And I
Amen.
will say this,
Amen.
he'll show you the end, and he'll get you to go out there, but he doesn't tell you what the middle. He don't tell you what's going to happen in
That's right.
between.
That's right. Yeah.
Because if I would have known the challenges and the struggles, I'd still be doing taxes.
Right. Yeah, and Nicole, like I just added that, they often say the preachers often say that when he calls you, he will
Mhm.
equip you, right?
Yes, that's right.
And that's up,
Absolutely.
he can if he give you the mission, he's gonna give you the provision, right?
That's right. That's right. And he did.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Really resonate with you there, Nicole,
Yeah.
because
Mhm.
Paul and I have said the same thing. If we knew, right? But knowing that God is God and that
Mhm.
if you have the faith, it's going to
Mhm.
see you through, so
Yes.
we just kept going. So let me take you back to some of those challenges you mentioned. You
Yes.
talked about staffing, field and
Mhm.
office staff, right? So
Mhm.
what have you done? What systems have you put in place, or what
Mhm.
changes have you made? What policies or strategies? What have you put in place to help you walk through those challenges to the
Mhm.
point where you're still surviving? You're not just surviving, you're thriving,
Thriving.
actually.
Yes,
Yes.
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 Mhm.
Yeah.
That's a good question because as I was moving forward, I thought everything was moving smooth. I'm like, okay, I have a good team in the office, who are providing good services with the caregivers and had that rapport and relationship with caregivers and the clients.
Yes.
And sometimes, it's a false sense of security. It's a false sense of security. So just a little backstory, and this is regarding my internal staff. I had an amazing scheduler. Caregivers loved her, clients loved her, and I went on vacation
Okay.
for a week. And that's
Okay.
and one thing when you're a business owner, when you're able to step away and not worry about how things are
Right. Going on.
operating, yeah, it's a good feeling. And I went away for a week and I came back, everything seemed to be fine. And at the end of that week when I returned, my main scheduler disappeared.
Ah,
I started calling her. I thought something was wrong, because she was not the type not to come to work. And I called and called. And after a minute, I'm like, okay, she's not coming back. So now that main role fell back on me. So, again, you're in survival mode, but you do what you have to do.
Yeah, you do.
And one thing I'll say with regards to that as well is know your business.
Yes.
You do want other people to have tasks and everything. But for me, I need to know how this runs. I need to know, what you know. And just in this case. And so I was able to pick up. And if I can say this, I got a referral from Joan regarding a virtual, have you tried virtual assistants? And I haven't thought about that. And that was the best decision for my agency that I've made, is to move virtual. And I know people may have different feelings about that.
Yes.
But again, hiring my first virtual scheduler, who's still with me today. It's been over a year and a half.
All right.
Yep. I told her if she ever tried to leave me, I'm flying over there.
So, we back to the job, huh? Yeah.
Yes. It's going to be an abduction.
That's right.
But and the work ethic,
yes.
And the quality of the work,
yes.
And it worked out. And that turned into 2, that turned into 3, that turned into 4.
So there you go.
I'm up to 5 now. And,
there you go. Woo-hoo.
And they have varying roles,
yes.
But they're consistent.
Correct.
The caregivers, work well with them. The clients work well with them. And I actually have one who's my personal assistant now, because I keep track of everything. So, so it has just worked out well for me using that strategy, even though they are virtually. I do have in-house staff as well, but, it's just the whole team that makes it work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You just shared something so important, Nicole.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
You got to know your business.
Yes.
Right? You got to know your business. And home care, sometimes we feel like, okay, we are stable. That comfort zone could be the danger zone.
Yes.
Right? So you got to know your business. You have to be ready to step in.
Yes.
Because things are going to happen. Thankfully you came back, your doors were not closed, still running. You had to, get your act together and just get going.
Yes.
So thank you for sharing that. And of course, the strategy you've now embraced to help you with staffing challenges.
Yes.
Your team here supports the clients if they come to your office. So you have some administrative tasks that are being handled virtually. And that's working fine for you. Great. What other tips could you share to someone who is looking to come into this industry? Maybe they came from accounting like you, or maybe they came from, whatever industry, or they're just thinking about it. What tips can you share with them to help them, be successful?
Right. I would say one of the things is do your homework. It's easy to see people doing and thinking, oh, I can hop in, I love people. I'm compassionate, I've taken care of my, all of my family members as they aged. It's a different beast when you're doing it as a business. Know your market. Take some time, and even, this podcast, the Home Care Millionaire Podcast, join things where you can get some knowledge, learn your market, whether it's going to events, they have a lot of senior events, things like that. Talk to people. I know from experience, I jumped off the cliff, but you don't have, people who are really interested in this work, do your homework, marketing, research, even having a mentor. I'm pretty sure there may be other groups. One of the things I greatly appreciated when I first started was I came to you all's office, and I remember sitting in the office with Joan, and it was, it was just. It was just a sense of security, like, okay, and it gave me vision. It really did when I saw the operation. And I'll say this, and I probably never told you, but when I left, I'm like, I'm gonna be like that when I grow up and visit an angel.
There you go. There you go.
It gave me
Why not?
inspiration.
Why not?
You know?
Yeah.
It did. It really gave me inspiration. Like I can do this too.
Yes.
So one thing to jump, but I would say do your research.
You're so right, Nicole. You're so right. I mean, I think the biggest thing is that if you're willing to learn, which we all are,
Yes.
I think one of the things we picked up was that, you got to be willing to learn, man. You got to be willing to submit yourself to some mentorship, coaching, some learning. You talked about being in events that, because you got to, what is circulate to percolate, right? You got to be out there. You got to be amongst the folks. I mean, you want to be a doctor, you want to be a football player, you want to be around the football players, right? You want to be so whatever. I'm saying, you're so right. It's because this is not rocket science. I mean, this is not surgery. Thankfully, okay. I mean, but it can be done. And like you said, when you go out there, you meet with people that are already doing what you're looking to do. Then you said, if she can do it, if he can do it, I can do it too. And that's what it's all about. Because some of us get, we get defeated, if you will, by just the size of it all, right? Because we don't know,
right?
But I mean, like you said, do your homework, meet the folks who are doing it, find out how you can get trained or coached or mentored, whatever, and then take a what is it, baby steps, if you will, and do it. Because if Paul can do it, if John can do it, if Paul can do it, you can do it.
Right. And
go ahead. Nicole.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I apologize. And one of the things I was going to say, because it's one thing, just, going out there and being able to care for individuals and having caregivers. But again, that administrative and business part, that we run a business. It's so, it's there's a lot of different moving parts, definitely you want to know, based on where you are, what does that state's licensure look like? How long is that process? It's the foundational pieces before you jump out there and start hiring people and looking for clients. You need that base, that foundation before you get out there and just get disappointed.
Yes.
Nicole, what you've shared just here, needing that foundation, right, explains your success.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if I may share this, that's why we've created the Home Care Success Blueprint, which is a program that shares those pillars that you need to have for your company, your home care business to succeed. Without the foundation, you're going to crumble. You can only go so far, you're going to crumble, right? And you talked about belonging. That power of community is key. Is key, because there are going to be days when you feel like, okay, I can't do this anymore. Or you came to our office and you were inspired because you reached out to someone, to a network. So those are really key to your success, right? So
I gotta say this, Nicole. You're so right, Nicole. Let me just say this to you, Nicole, real quick. When there was a lady who preceded us in the business, right? We started. And Joan went to her office. It was. I mean, she gave us the privilege of coming to her office. It was a struggle, but we got there. And Joan looked, and she pulled out this file. Said, "See, these are all my clients." Joan walked away and said, "Wait a minute." She came back and told me, said, "Man," she pulled this drawer. Man, it was files upon files upon files. Hey, Joan was like, "Man, I can't wait for us to have files just like that."
That's how I felt.
That's right. I mean, so we were inspired to by her story. Right? You want to speak to that?
Absolutely. It was one drawer, it's a file cabinet.
Right.
And I'm like, woo. So
we had this the month.
I know.
There you go.
That's how I felt coming to your office. I'm like, wow.
It's fire.
Yes, it's that motivation and that connection. And even if an individual doesn't find someone in the home care agencies, like their local chamber of commerce, they have so many business events, if you can get around someone like-minded,
correct,
to give you that motivation, that, like-minded individuals, you draw on energy from them.
Correct.
So that's important. That's very important.
100%.
Wow.
I agree.
Thank you so much, Nicole.
I had to bring in our story. You know what I'm saying? Because I tell you, she walked in, man. She was like, man, I walked, she pulled us, draw names upon names, and we had no clients. I'm like,
Right.
I mean, it was a revelation. Let me tell you,
Yeah.
but we didn't come this far to walk away. Okay, let me.
That's right. I understand. I felt the same way. Yeah.
So yeah. So go ahead, Joe.
Anyway, Nicole, thank you so much
Mhm.
for joining us today. This has been great, and we just truly believe that our viewers and audience has really benefited
Mhm.
from what you've shared with us today. Okay, on the Home Care Millionaire podcast, we really hope that you found inspiration, encouragement, and practical tools to help you that you can apply right away. Nicole
Yes.
has shared so much insight, so much wisdom that you can apply right away
Yes.
to help you on your own journey. Our mission is simple: to shine light on the incredible work, impact that home care owners and their caregivers make every single day, to give you the mindset, right? Personal development tips, strategies, faith-filled wisdom to build your business strong. Okay, so
Because here's what we believe
okay,
at the Millennial Home Care Mindset podcast. Here's what we believe, folks. Compassion is your calling. Wealth
Mhm.
is your reward. Okay.
absolutely.
If this episode has spoken to you, our audience, would love for you to subscribe so you never miss another episode again. And if you'd like more resources and have questions for Joan and I, head over to askjohnandpaul.com and we'll be honored to connect with you there. Again, Nicole, thank you so much, Nicole. Thank you so much, Nicole.
Mhm.
You've just graced our podcast today and shared
Mhm.
so much wisdom. I mean, I know being a business person, as business successful as you are, and as you're going to continue to set the bar higher and higher out there, we don't want to hold you too long. So thank you for your time, Nicole. And have a
Thank
wonderful day.
you all.
Continue success again.
I appreciate both of you all. I enjoyed this. I hope, someone gets just a few nuggets out of it. And lastly, I'll say, don't give up. If you really feel like this is where you're supposed to be, it's not going to be easy. It's not a blink of the eye, to get to that. You got to put in work, have to
Yes.
put in that work, and
Yes.
don't give up.
Yes.
Seek the answers that you need to help you move forward. So I
Amen.
appreciate you both. I love you both so much.
I
So
love you too, Nicole.
I
Keep,
appreciate this.
keep going for it, Nicole. Keep making all of us keep making each other proud, right?
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Thank you. God bless.
Absolutely. So
God
thank
bless.
you all so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Home Care Millionaire Podcast. We hope you found inspiration, encouragement, and practical tools you can apply right away in your own journey. Our mission is simple, folks: to shine a light on the incredible impact that home care owners and their caregivers make every single day, and to give you the mindset, strategies, and faith-filled wisdom to build both purpose and prosperity.
Because here is what we believe: compassion is your calling, wealth is your reward. If this episode spoke to you, we'd love for you to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you like more resources or have questions for Paul and I, just head over to askjohnandpaul.com. We'll be honored to connect with you there.
Until next time, folks, remember, you have what it takes to build wealth, create freedom, and leave a legacy through your agency. We're here cheering you on every step of the way. Bye for now.